Hi, for this week's assignment, we're going to look at the four main tools that we will use in Adobe Illustrator to create our fashion flats. So to start with, you're going to go to Canvas and open up the Adobe Illustrator assignment and download the Adobe Illustrator introduction file. When you download it, it should automatically launch your Adobe Illustrator software. If not, go to your download files and locate the file. So the first thing we're going to look at in here is how to create a new layer. The first assignment. So your layers are right here. If you can't see your layer panels, you want to go to Window and select Layers. Here we're going to create a new layer. Then we're going to name it Stroke and Fill. You double click on it. You can now type. And then you want to make sure that this layer is highlighted because this is the layer that you're going to work on. If either of the other two layers are highlighted, when you go to your tools, you're going to see the stop mark right here. And that is because the layers that you have selected is locked. So make sure you're in the correct layer. So when we create fashion flats, traditionally they have a black stroke right here and a white fill. And so we just want to make 3 different boxes to see the different ways these two works. So first I'm going to create a box here. If you hold on Shift, it will be symmetrical. Right now this box has a white fill and a black stroke. But we want to copy this one that only has a fill. So that means I'm going to put the stroke towards the top by clicking on it and then hit None here. And then instead of having a white fill that's very hard to see, I'm going to color it green. Okay? And then for the next box you're going to make, you want to create something that only has a stroke. And so I have my fill on top. I'm going to hit None. And I'm going to select my stroke and give it a stroke color. So away from here, you guys can see now there's a stroke. You can also put it over here. Now you can see that there's no fill here. And then for the last rectangle, we are going to create a shape that has a fill and a stroke. And so this is where your fashion flats will be made. They will have a fill, usually a white one, and then a black stroke. So this page should look like this. Pan over to the next tool. And so when you're moving in your workspace, you can use these slider bars. You can also hold down the space bar and then click and drag. So the other tool that you use mainly when you are creating a fashion flats is the pen tool. It's located right here. This one. What you can do is that if you hold down, this box will pop up. You can go ahead and open it up. That way you see all 4 tools that are hidden under here. So again, I'm going to create a new layer and I'm going to name it Pen Tool 1.0. Click OK. And then it says turn on the stroke and turn off the fill. And so my stroke is on. I'm going to give it a different color so I can see what I'm drawing. And then I'm going to turn my fill off. Then we make sure we're in the right layer. You can go ahead and lock the previous one. That'll make it easier. I'm in the pen tool. And so the pen tool, you can draw, you start by putting down an anchor that you do with just clicking. And then, as you guys can see, this blue line comes up here. And that shows if I place down my second anchor point right here, I now have a diagonal line. Command Z will erase that line. It's an undo step. You can also go to Edit and undo pen. So I want to make a straight line right here. So again, just click one more time. And then to start your next line, if you hit return or enter, you're still in the pen tool, you can now start over. And so for this one, you're going to follow the lines again. So start, place your first anchor point, click, go up to the point, click again, go down here, so you want to follow these lines. And I'm going to hit enter, get out of this tool. Here, we'll zoom in, you guys can see what it looks like. And then the trickier part with the pen tool will come when you're trying to make shapes like this, something round. So the way we do that is that we use what's called handlebars. And so first you want to just put down your first anchor point, then go to the top of the curve and click and drag. And so I'm still holding down my left mouse key, and these handlebars comes out. And so now I can see where my blue line wants to lay this down. Go right here. And then the good thing with handlebars, so right now, this next line that I'm putting down will still reflect this line that I have right here. And so for this next point, again, I can just click. And then now I need handlebars again, so I'm going to go to the bottom of the curve, click and drag. If you hold down shift, your handlebars will pull out vertically or horizontally. They will lock into those angles. So I'm getting my handlebars out, they look good right there. Again, this one will reflect off of this handlebar, so now I just click. Here I have to click and drag, I'm holding down shift. Again, and then here, this one is reflecting off this one, so I can click right here. Placing an anchor point here, clicking and dragging. Same thing here. If you are working with a trackpad instead of a mouse, I highly recommend that you invest in a mouse. It's going to make your work a lot easier and a lot faster. So there are my 3 different lines. So we have a straight line, a zigzag one, and then a curved one. We're going to move on to the next artboard. So I'm holding down spacebar, panning over here. Again, we're going to create a new layer. Lock this one. Name it Pen Tool 2.0. And now we're going to work with both a fill and a stroke. I find it easier to just work with my stroke first, and then when my shape is complete, I will add a fill. So we go into the pen tool again, start here in the corner. Since this doesn't have any round curves, I can just click away, placing anchor points down. So, and then when you come all the way around, you see a circle appear next to your pen tool. That means that now you have a complete shape. When you create flats, particularly, you want to make sure that you always see that shape or that round circle, so you know that you have a complete shape. And I'm going to give this fill too, see better. This one here, we'll go on, we'll do this other one that doesn't have any curves. So as you guys see now, I still have the fill on, and so as I'm working, that fill appears. Now for this round one, again, we're going to have to click and drag to make these round shapes. So I'm going to start right here. Go to this curve, some clicking and dragging. Going up here to the top, as you guys see, if I just click, I'm not following the curve. You can either go back and hit the anchor point. That will get rid of that handlebar, and you can now start from the beginning. Here, you can either do the same thing, get rid of the handlebar, or if you want to, you can go down here, you can click and drag. And now this line is reflecting off of both handlebars. And then for this bottom one, I don't like that. I'm gonna get rid of that handlebar, so I can start over. There. The last one right here. And so, you guys can see, this is fairly good. But an easy way to make edits to this is to go into your direct select tool or the right arrow tool, shortcut A. Now, if I select this anchor point, for example, I can go in and I can modify these handlebars individually. So, let's see. This, I can also use this tool. This one will give me 2 brand new anchor points, or handlebars, I'm sorry, that I can use. Okay, so I think pretty happy with that shape. I'm going to move on to the next one. Again, clicking and dragging. And so mastering the pen tool, I think it's definitely the most frustrating part when it comes to making fashion flats. But the more you practice it, the easier it will get, and it's well worth your time. The better you get with a pen tool, the faster you're going to be able to create your flats, the faster and more accurate you'll be able to complete the remaining of your Illustrator assignments as well for this class. Go here, do some edits. There. So you can also just move individual anchor points with this tool. There we go. It's good. Pan over. Here is your last one. So we are going to trace this flower. I'm going to go ahead and lock this layer. Create a new layer. Name it pen. Tool 3.0. I'm going to turn off my stroke just so I can easily go into my pen tool. We'll start here with a circle. So I'm going to place my anchor point. Go down to about the 45 degree. I'm holding down shift, so create a perfect straight line there. Place this one here. Here again, I'm going to click and drag. There we go. There is my circle. So I get a circle. You can zoom in. That's Command plus. And then hold down spacebar so you can pan. You can now edit this one a little bit. I think this comes to a point here, so I want to smooth that out a little bit by adding some handlebars to it. Move this up. There we go. Happy with that one. Then I'm going to create this flower petal right here. Turn my fill off so I can see what I'm doing. Start here at the bottom, go up to the top of the petal. If you hold on shift here, you can lock yourself in so you get a straight line. So get a straight line. Again, I'm holding my shift, pulling out my handlebars, and then go down here. There is my petal. This one pink. And so the nice thing with Illustrator, is that since this is digital, instead of drawing every single flower petal, we can just copy and paste the one we have. I'm going to select this one, and then go to Edit. And here you also see this shortcuts, sorry. So copy would be Command C, and then paste is Command V. These are all Mac shortcuts, by the way. So I'm copying it, Command C, and then I'm pasting it, Command V. I have this one here. And we make sure you're in the black arrow tool, which is your select tool. That way we can change the whole shape. Place this one there. Copy this one, Command C, paste it, Command V. This one here. And now when I have 3 of these ones, I'm going to go ahead and grab all 3 of them. So by holding down Shift, you can make multiple selections. Let's see, Command V. Again, turning it. Right position. Looks good. Now I can select all 6 petals, copy them, paste them. And the other shortcut I'm going to teach you is if you right click, then you can go to transform and reflect. Okay. So now we're all in the right direction, go faster. You could also obviously turn all of them or rotate all of them manually. There we go. There is your flower. So those are 4 exercises for you to get used to the workspace in Illustrator, how to create new layers using the pen tool, using your direct select tool to edit a path, and also a little bit of copying and pasting. Once you're done with this, you're going to go to File, Save As, and then here, after the title, make a dash and then put your first name, last name. Save it to a place where you can find it, maybe the desktop if you have a folder for this course, and then upload it to Canvas. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day.